Hello friend. Welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to look at the topic, classification of living things. By the end of this topic, you should be able to 1. Define the term classification. 2. State the importance of classification. 3. Name the major units of classification. 4. Explain the meaning of binomial nomenclature. 5. State the application of binomial nomenclature in naming organisms. 6. Explain how to use the magnifying lens to observe the external features of plants and animals. 7. Record the observations of the main external features of organisms. Let us begin. What is classification? In biology, classification means the orderly arrangement of organisms into groups based on their similarities. In years past, organisms were classified in terms of usefulness, harmfulness, habitat, size, etc. For example, plants were classified as either edible or non-edible, medicinal or non-medicinal, and poisonous or non-poisonous. Animals were classified as either domestic or wild, calm or ferocious, etc. This method of classifying organisms is termed artificial classification. The problem with this method is that it only applies to a local setup. This is because different communities around the world have their own way of classifying organisms. It therefore becomes difficult for scientists living in different parts of the globe to use such a system for communication. To overcome the problem, a Swedish scientist named Carl von Linné, Carolus Linnaeus in Latin, developed the modern system of classifying organisms. In this system, organisms that possess a similar characteristic are grouped together. For example, organisms that have a backbone are grouped together as vertebrates. On the other hand, organisms that have mammary glands are grouped together as mammals. This method of classifying organisms into groups based on similar characteristics is termed the natural system of classification. In Lesson 1, we mentioned that taxonomy is a branch of biology that deals with the classification of living organisms. In this regard, organisms are placed in groups or units termed taxa. The plural of the term taxon is taxa. Biologists who study taxonomy are called taxonomists. Each taxonomic unit reflects the position of an organism relative to others in the classification scheme. In this scheme, a hierarchy of groups is recognized. It proceeds from the first, largest, and highest unit, that is, kingdom, to the smallest and lowest unit, that is, species. In this scheme, we have the following 7 taxonomic units, starting with the highest to the lowest. Kingdom. Phylum in animals. Division in plants. Class. Order. Family. Genus. Species. The kingdom is the highest taxonomic unit. It is subdivided into phylum, phyla in the plural, in animals or divisions in plants. The phylum or division is subdivided into classes. Classes are in turn subdivided into orders. Orders are subdivided into families. A family is subdivided into genera. A genus is subdivided into species. A species is defined as the smallest unit of classification whose members can freely interbreed and give rise to a fertile offspring. Members of the same species can be subdivided in terms of varieties, races, or strains. Here is how humans can be classified under the above taxa. Kingdom, Animalia. Phylum, Chordata. Class, Mammalia. Order, Primate. Family, Hominidae. Genus, Homo. Species, Sapiens. So scientifically, humans are termed Homo sapiens. The domestic dog can be classified as follows. Kingdom, Animalia. Phylum, Chordata. Class, Mammalia. Order, Carnivora. Family, Canidae. Genus, Canis. Species, Familiaris. So, the scientific name of a dog is Canis familiaris. The maize plant is classified as follows. Kingdom, Plantae. Division, Spermatophyta. Class, Monocotyledone. Order, Gramineales. Family, Graminae. Genus, Z. Species, Maize. So, the scientific name of the maize plant is Z. maize. The bean plant can be classified as follows. Kingdom, Plantae. Division, Spermatophyta. Class, Dicotyledone. Family, Rosoles. Order, Leguminosae. Genus, Phaseolus. Species, Vulgaris. So, the scientific name for the bean plant is Phaseolus vulgaris. Next, we look at the scientific naming of organisms according to a system called binomial nomenclature. So, what is binomial nomenclature? This is the scientific naming system where an organism is given two names, that is, the genus name and the species name. The system of binomial nomenclature adheres to the following rules. 1. An organism is given a scientific name comprising two names. The first name represents the genus to which the organism belongs. The second name represents the species to which the organism belongs. 2. The genus name should be written beginning with a capital letter. The species name should be written in small letters. For example, Canis familiaris. 3. The scientific names should be italicized when printed in books or other printed works. For example, Panthera leo. When handwritten, the names must be underlined separately. For example, Z. maiz. 4. The scientific name may include the name of the scientist who first adequately described the organism. For example, Balanus balanards Linnaeus, that is, a common barnacle that was first described by Carolus Linnaeus. 5. Newly described animals must be given Latinized names. For example, Alochilophiensis may be used to describe a member of the Aloaceae family first discovered in Chilophy. What is the significance or importance of classification? Here are some of the reasons why classification is necessary. 1. It enables the grouping together of organisms with similar characteristics while separating those with different characteristics. 2. Placing organisms in respective groups facilitates easy referencing. 3. Helps scientists to arrange information about plants and animals in an orderly manner to avoid chaos and confusion. 4. Classification enables scientists to understand evolutionary relationships between different living things. Next, we look at the magnifying lens. So, what is a magnifying lens? This is a laboratory apparatus used to make small objects appear larger. It constitutes an important part of the hand lens, as shown below. A hand lens is used for observing the external features of plants and animals. In order to use the lens, first you have to place the object to be observed on a suitable surface such as inside a petri dish, on a white tile, or on plain paper. You then hold the handle of the lens and move it with one hand from the object towards your eye. As the object comes into focus, you will see an enlarged image. To calculate the magnification of the object, use the following formula. Magnification is equal to the length of the drawing divided by the length of the object. Worked example. If the magnification of a drawing is times 7 and the drawing length is 14 centimeters, what is the actual length of the object? In order to obtain the actual length, follow the following procedure. In this case, actual length is equal to the length of the drawing divided by magnification. Thus, actual length is equal to 14 centimeters divided by 7. Therefore, the actual length is 2 centimeters. We wind up the lesson by considering the external features of plants and animals. The external features of plants include the following: leaves, stems, roots, flowers, fruits, and cones in higher plants, fronds, sori, and rachis in ferns, rhizards and setae in moss plants. The external features of animals are as follows: segmented body, limbs for locomotion, fur, hair, and mammary glands in mammals, eyes, ears, and antennae, feathers and wings in birds, shells in snails, scales in fish, tentacles in hydra. This brings us to the end of this lesson. I hope this is helpful. In the next lesson, we shall look at the topic the cell. Please click the subscribe button to support our channel in disseminating more content like this. Also, click the notification bell to receive alerts whenever we upload new videos. Thank you for your time.